Hey, good morning, Lisa. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm going to share my video I made just to make sure that it works because I know sometimes like with video it's hard,
Okay.
at least for me.
Nope, I get it.
And I'm using a different computer. I've never used Zoom on this computer, so of course. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Oh, I can just do that. Okay, can you see my PowerPoint?
I can. You just might, it's not in presentation mode. Up, there it
Oh,
is.
it's not.
Yeah, it is now.
Oh, it is now. Okay.
Yes.
And then I have this video, so let me know if you can see it and hear it.
Okay.
Many of you may already be familiar with the
Yes.
Okay, great.
It's not very loud though. Can you turn up your volume any at all?
Probably. Oops. The concept of quality improvement. But today I want to focus not only on what QI is, but also what it means to. Was that any better?
I still have to really listen. I don't know, and I'm pretty sure my volume's up all the way. Let me double check. I don't know if anyone else is on. They can always tell us what they're hearing.
Yeah, I can hear it clearly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I think everything's working then.
Good. And then is my video, like, can you see me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I stole the camera from my husband's computer, so I hope it works. We've never used it here before.
This is my desktop and I don't have a camera that's working for it, so they did get my volume, my audio working. It wasn't working for a while, so.
Good.
Yep, I think you're good to go. Now, is Dr. Ty going to use the same video as you, or do you know?
It's
Okay.
not.
Okay.
Actually, I mean, I'm assuming not.
Okay. And you all did not want to be introduced, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Okay, well, whenever Dr. Ty's on and it's 7 o'clock, you are good to go then.
Okay, thanks. Everyone, let's get started. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Crystal David. I'm the clinical pharmacist in the Department of Family Medicine, and I'm also the QI chair for family medicine and the co-chair of quality for CLEAR. So along with Dr. Ty today, we're going to talk about quality improvement projects so you all can get started on yours for this year. It looks like Lisa has put the CME code in the chat box if you need that. And I'm going to pull up my presentation here. Okay, so our mission is improvement, and this is going to be your guide to quality improvement today. So as we go through this, try not to think about these projects as just another thing you have to do and another project to check off your list, right? This is really so much more. It's going to be about helping develop and hone a skill set that you're really going to use for the rest of your career. And you can ask any of the faculty you work with, those who have worked in other places besides OSU as well, that having this skill set to help with quality improvement is really important and really something you're going to keep using. So our goal today is to talk about these projects so that you can get started with your own project in your department. Let's see. So I'm going to go over a few general QI things, and then Dr. Ty will start talking about osteopathic recognition. So this year's Quality Improvement and Patient Safety Symposium will be on June 2nd, and that's going to be in the Tandy again. We do have an in-person component and a virtual. Really, if you can attend in person, we really want you to, because you're going to get more out of it, and the attendees are also going to get more out of it. The virtual component, we really have for people who are from out of town and can't make it into to Tulsa. So I have a little video here that I made. And so this is a new skill set that I've started. So hopefully you'll enjoy this. Let's see.
Many of you may already be familiar with the concept of quality improvement. But today I want to focus not only on what QI is, but also what it means in healthcare. By definition, it is a systematic, data-driven approach to improving patient outcomes, system performances, and professional development. The key here is that this occurs locally in your health system. So this could be clinic or hospital, for example. Sometimes QI does get confused with other things. So sometimes people think it's like research, and other times confused with QA or quality assurance. But QI is not the same as research. Research asks what's true in general, where QI asks what works better here. It's about immediate, measurable change in your local system. Now, QI and QA are also not the same thing. QA is about meeting a standard and checking compliance. And QI is about changing that process to get better results, about making the system better. As you can see in this diagram, there are some overlaps, but where the idea behind research and QI overlap, we get evidence-informed improvement. And in the space where QI and QA concepts overlap, we can see compliance measured and processes changing. So our goal here really is to have better care, better systems, and a better you. It's about making real changes right here and right now. You might be thinking right about now, okay, I get what it is, but why does it matter? For patients, it matters because they can get safer and more reliable care. This could look like fewer errors, better outcomes, and better experiences for them. For you, this means developing leadership skills and getting credit for scholarly activity. This could look like skill building in problem solving, data analysis, and teamwork. For the system, it's about meeting standards. So this could be compliance with ACGME, our CLEAR initiatives, and institutional priorities. It could also be looking at MIPS scores, but really it's going to be about creating sustainable change that outlives your residency. These are not silos. They all work together to help build a better system. There are many ways to get going on a QI project. Each of you are on a committee of some sort. These are perfect ways to get involved in QI, either with ongoing projects or new projects. Some committees that may have projects for you to get involved with include pharmacy and therapeutics. They almost always have a project of some kind. Infection control, antimicrobial stewardship. Transfusion committee is well known for its QI projects. Morbidity and mortality, patient safety, or even the CLEAR committees such as professionalism committee. But committees really are just one avenue to get involved. You can also reflect and ask yourself, what is something in your clinical day that bugs you? And then brainstorm some ideas on how to make it better. Another good point is with your department. You probably have departmental goals for improvement, MIPS, for example. So talk with your faculty in your department and see what ideas they may have that can help you come up with an idea that would be really important for your department. No matter which avenue you choose for getting started with the QI project, The roadmap or plan is pretty much going to be the same. You're going to start by identifying the problem. Look for pain points, complaints, bottlenecks, errors, look at patient safety reports. Once you've done this, then you can form your team. This usually consists of about 3 or 4 residents and a faculty advisor. Together, your team can write your aim statement. You want this to be clear and specific, and we're going to talk more on this in a minute. Before making any plan changes, though, you want to measure your baseline data. So this is data you need to look at before you change anything. And now you're ready to do the fun part. You're going to plan and test changes. This is the PDSA cycle. Again, we're going to talk more about this in a little bit. Once you've completed this cycle, then you want to measure again. This is really important because you want to look at your data now. Does it show any improvement? And if not, learn why it didn't and maybe make changes to see if you can show improvement. And then finally, you'll want to share and sustain. So this can include presenting your findings to your department or committee, and definitely we want you to present at the symposium in June. Maybe you could even try for a publication. What's really cool about these projects is that you can adopt this as an ongoing change and continue to see these sustained results. There are many things that we continue to do in the family medicine department that started out as a resident-led QI project. Let's keep going and start talking about the aim statement. You can think about this like your project's GPS. It can help guide everything about your project, but it's only as good as whatever you put into it. So what is an aim statement? It's a concise statement that's going to answer some questions. What are you trying to accomplish? Do you want to improve no-show rates, decrease readmissions? The next question is, by how much? Is this by 10%, by 5%? You want it to be achievable, but also meaningful. Third thing you ask is by when? Is this going to happen in 3 months, in 6 months? Again, something achievable, but also long enough to see a change. And then who will this involve? Is it patients with COPD, OSU medical center residents? Define who you hope the change will impact. Without a clear aim, you wander, but with it, you focus and measure progress. You can kind of think of it as a formula of sorts. Our goal is to improve or change X for Y population by Z% in T amount of time. Let's try out a few aim statements. For the first one, you're an intern. You're about to start your 3rd week in the hospital, and you realize things just don't work out the way you thought they might. So you decide you want to make things better. I'm not poking fun at interns. I really think your insight is super valuable. You have fresh eyes and can see things that can be improved from a different perspective than even some of your more seasoned seniors. But as an aim statement goes, make things better is really just too vague. So try to pinpoint one thing you could focus on. Is it something to do with admissions, medications, discharge, maybe even patient education? Focus your project on that one thing. The second one, it's Monday at 5:30, and after a really rough afternoon, you think you've come up with the best QI project. Let's fix clinic. Again, there are several things that make this not ideal as an aim statement goes, but to start with, it's too broad. So reflect back on what is the one thing you could start with that might help improve whatever frustration you encountered for that day. The third one is one of my favorites. Improve the drink area in the resident lounge at the hospital. I seriously cannot be the only one who feels like you are in someone's way at least 99% of the time in that room. I mean, it almost even feels like it when you're the only one in there. There are many things wrong with this aim statement, but one thing to note is that it's not measurable. So how will we know if it's improved? I have lots of ideas for this one if anyone's interested. And finally, here's another one. So let's decrease no-show rates at clinic by 25% in 3 months by implementing a same-day call-in reminder. Okay, so for this one, if you're thinking about that formula, you can think about it and basically it hits the target. So we can keep in mind when we're making our statements that a good aim statement is going to help keep you on target. Many of you may already, sorry, hold on. Maybe,
I'll get it. There you go.
okay, so we had a little fun with some aim statements there. But in all seriousness, how do you know what makes a good project? Here's some categories and thoughts to help focus your ideas. The first one is clinical care. Maybe some ideas about reducing time to antibiotics in sepsis or reducing unnecessary imaging in low back pain. Maybe you want to think about something that could help improve blood pressure control rates. Another category is safety. Maybe decreasing central line infections or lowering surgical site infection rates. The third category to look at is workflow. So streamlining lab order processes to help reduce errors or maybe improving order entry accuracy. Education and training is a fourth category. Could be something along the lines of improving resident handoff quality, something with the iPass maybe. And the last category I was thinking about would be patient experience. Improving follow-up communication after discharge would be an example here, or shortening the wait times in the emergency department. Improving patient understanding of discharge instructions. Just a few ideas. But pro tip, look at previous projects. See what's worked and what hasn't worked. You can adapt these and try something different this time. You don't always have to start from scratch. Now, no matter which direction you go, you do want to make sure your project is these things. So meaningful, measurable, doable, aligned, and resident-led. What do I mean by these things? So meaningful, relevant to patient care or system function, addresses a real need or frustration. Measurable, you can track the process with available data. Doable, can be completed in an academic year, because this is not going to be a 3-year policy overhaul. Aligned, we want it to match department and or institutional priorities. And then resident-led. So remember, this is resident-led, faculty supported. Your faculty advisor is your coach and guide. They're not there to tell you exactly what to do and when to do it. So remember, if you can't measure it, you can't prove it worked. Pick something that matters, that you can measure, that's achievable within our timeline. And remember, your faculty advisor is your coach and is not the one managing the project. The backbone of any QI project is the PDSA cycle. I mentioned this earlier, and we're going to go into some detail on it now. Basically, it's a simple, repeatable framework that lets you test changes in a structured way. So instead of overhauling everything at once, you try small steps, learn from them, and then decide whether to expand, adapt, or just move on. So let's break it down. The first step in the cycle is plan. This is where you will decide what you're going to try and then predict the result. The second step is do. You're going to try your change on a small scale. Thirdly, study. Check out the data and compare it to your prediction. And then finally, you're going to act. You're either going to adopt that change, adapt it, or abandon it completely. With this cycle, you get continuous learning. So here's a fun example. First, we're going to create our aim. We will improve resident morale in the clinic by increasing the percentage of residents reporting good morale on the weekly survey from 40 to 50% within 1 month by introducing Monday morning snacks. So if we look at it, all of the elements of a good aim statement are there. So it is a good aim. Let's move on to that PDSA cycle. So the first step, remember, is plan. In this step, we're going to put donuts in the resident lounge on Monday mornings, expecting morale to improve measurably. After that, we're going to actually execute it, right? Provide donuts on each Monday morning for 4 weeks. Then we will study the results. Let's look at the surveys, and they did show morale increased from 40 to 60%, and the donuts were gone in 15 minutes. Finally, we're going to act. For this part, we're going to either adopt, adapt, or abandon the original plan. But since morale improved by the residents, but they said it was too much sugar, so we will adapt and try bagels next month in hopes of sustaining morale, but without that sugar crash. And don't forget to measure again. One of the final steps in your project is sharing your results at the symposium. All projects can be presented no matter which stage of the PDSA cycle you're in. There'll be people there, so faculty, residents, and people from leadership will be in attendance. Some people can be a little scared by the words presentation and symposium, so So I'm going to take a second here to clarify what we mean by that for our symposium. What can you expect? What it is, a poster session and a short oral summary. What it is not a formal presentation in front of a large group of people. Someone from each group will stand with your poster, and you can take turns with this throughout the session if you want. That way everyone has a chance to walk around and see the other posters. But basically, attendees will have a chance to see your poster and ask you questions. So it's really low stakes and a great opportunity for you to share your hard work. Now, with everyone in the same room, this really gives a great opportunity for networking. Also, what you get from the symposium is we will have an awards ceremony. So there will be awards for the top 3 posters, as well as an osteopathic recognition award. In the past, these have come with cash prizes, which they will again, but historically, they have been really quite substantial cash prizes. What happens after today? Well, here are your next steps. These will help get your project off the ground and set you up for success. The first thing you're going to want to do is form your team. And remember, you want about 4 residents. More than that is really just too many. Recruit a faculty advisor. This can be either from your department or even from that committee you're on. Then you're going to want to review the symposium handbook. This will be coming soon to an email inbox near you. It's full of great information. It has step-by-step instructions and really is going to help guide you through that process. The 4th thing to remember to do is to create your aim statement. And you're going to want to keep in mind those things we talked about today with creating a good one. And finally, I would say schedule regular check-ins. So based on the sample schedule in the handbook, schedule these with your team and your faculty advisor. This is going to help keep you on track. Final deadlines are not going to be flexible, and so you want to make sure you have completed your project with plenty of time for the submission deadlines. As we wrap up, remember this: quality improvement isn't just about projects or data. It's about noticing opportunities in the real world. So consider Don Berwick's words. He said that every system is perfectly designed to get the results it gets. Start noticing what slows you down, what frustrates your patients, or keeps you from delivering the care you want. And that's the seed of your next QI project.
Okay, hopefully you got a little bit from there in the kind of a QI crash course, if you will. And now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the handbook and show you how to utilize it best. And then that way you can know when things are due. So this will be coming to your email inbox soon, like I mentioned in the video. But really, I mean, we say handbook, I mean, it's several pages long, but it has everything you need to know to do your project. So there's a table of contents here. And as you can see, like these are hyperlinked. So when you're working on your project and you're thinking, oh, I wonder what the judging rubric said about this section, I can't remember, you know, you can just click on the judging rubric link. It'll take you straight to that part in the handbook. So first of all, like I said, it's June 2nd. We will have a registration link soon for you. And I will go over this in a second as well, but you're going to register that you want to attend the symposium and that you will be submitting a poster. And by May 4th, you will need to be submitting your recorded presentation as well as your poster. And these are final presentations that we need from you by May 4th. In the past, we have been pretty flexible about accepting things late, but there's just so much behind the scenes we have to do to get everything ready. Like get the posters to the judges, give them time to judge the poster, get it back, get the videos uploaded. And if by allowing people turning in things late, it just really kind of muddles that system. And so if your final poster isn't turned in by May 4th this year, you will not have a poster at the symposium. So in this, there is going to be a little background if you want to read that. And then really we broke it down step by step. So the steps I went through in this video are here. And actually there are more steps here just to give you more information about what you need to do. So there's some modules you can do to learn about QI and healthcare, and then also determining IRB. So since these are QI projects, they're almost always exempt from IRB, but you do need to submit an application for that for determination. And so there's a link here in the middle. You click on that, you log in. Only one person from your group needs to do that. And so I would assign somebody in your group that as one of their goals that they need to do. And basically you just submit what you want to do, what your plan is, and they'll tell you it's IRB exempt, and you put that on your poster. Creating your aim statement, a project timeline, determining authorship, and I'm going to go over some of these in just a little bit. So here we did a sample timeline for you, and go off of this to help determine whether you're on track for the project this year. And so on here, we do have that you can submit a draft to us by April 4th. So that would be great. We can give you some feedback. Just make sure that everything is according to plan. But the final deadline is May 4th. If you submit something to us on May 5th, we will not be accepting it. If you submit it on May 1st and there's a lot of things wrong with it, we may not be able to help you get it fixed before then. So I would aim for April 1st so that we can have some communication back and forth if needed. Like if you're having trouble with your video and things like that. Okay, so then when you're making your poster, here's a checklist you can go through to make sure you've included everything you need to include on it, such as like the logo for OSUCHS or OMICO, and then, just some things like avoiding abbreviations. Then look through your poster real quick and say like, oh, we have an abbreviation there, we didn't define it, or we have it too many times, something like that. And then appearance, it tells you here exactly like how tall to make it and how wide to make it, and gives you some tips on font. We've included what sections should be on a quality improvement poster as well. And then a few other things in this appendix. So this one is the point system. And so to be considered an author on your poster, you need to have at least 100 points. And so you can see here that the different points come from different areas. So if you are in charge of data analysis, you can get 50 points. If you are the person helping construct the aim statement, you get 10 points. And so just making sure that everybody on your team has at least 100 points each so that you can be an author. And then when you determine which order to put the authors on your paper, it'll be whoever has the highest points would go first, and then second highest and third highest. And then here is some more information on sizing. I feel like this is probably the most, the thing we have to make the most corrections to is getting a poster that's turned in that's the wrong size. And so if you use our templates, then you won't have to worry about that. So here in your handbook is a link. You do open, and then a Google Drive will open. And we have 7 templates. Some of them are the same with different colors, but, and you can change anything about it that you want, just don't change the size. So you click on it and open it. And then the slide 2 will tell you that download this as a PowerPoint file before making changes, and tells you how to name your file. And it says you can change the color, you can increase, decrease font, you can make it look like whatever you want, but do not change the size, because this is going to be the right size. So in order to download this, you'll go to File, Download, PowerPoint. If you click there, it'll download it as a PowerPoint. You don't want to download it as a PDF because then you can't make changes to it. It's hard to make all these changes in Google Docs as well. And so we can't seem to accept it that way. So we will need it from you as a PowerPoint file. So I'd recommend doing that immediately, like starting from a PowerPoint file and then making whatever changes you want, except do not change the size. Okay, and there's some more resources here if you want. You will also need to turn in about a 5-minute recorded presentation. The instructions are here, and we're going to meet again in March and do another grand rounds. And at that time, I'll go into some more detail on how to do a Zoom presentation, and I'll go into some more detail on your actual poster as well, and then project wrap up. So another good thing that we have here is the judging rubric. You'll know exactly how you're going to be judged on this. And so you can see what categories will be judged and how many points they're worth. So as you go through yours, look at it like from yourself. Be like, if I am my judge, how many points would I give myself here? Oh, I'm only going to get 3 points. How could I make it 5 points? And then change it before you send it in to us. Be your own judge before you turn it in. I'll tell you, people have lost really easy points, especially like in, let's say, like literature citations. We get so many posters who have no citations on them. And so we all know how to cite things, right? We've been through Comp 1, Comp 2, probably a billion other classes that we've had to cite things. So make sure you're using your little superscripts like 1 in the body of your poster, and then in your citation section, number 1, and tell us what that reference is. So that's just one place I've seen people lose really easy points. And then there's the osteopathic recognition that Dr. Ty will talk about here in a second. Okay, so that's the handbook. And then I wanted to introduce you to the website that we have. So it is a Google site that's just for our symposium. And the link is in the handbook and will be in the emails that you receive with the handbook. But everything will be here as well. So you don't have to like keep searching through your email. Because I know for me, I might search for like symposium or handbook and then like 20 things come up and I don't know which one I'm supposed to use. This will be the most recent copy of everything we need. So when it's time to register, down here in the far right corner, you'll click register your poster here. And you'll have this link in an email as well. But you can go here, start now, and go through and answer the questions. This one right now is last year's, so please don't do that yet. But only one person from your group will need to register your poster. So not each of you. And then up in the upper right-hand corner, you can see the drop-down menus. So we have all of the posters for each symposium we've ever had. So you can look at last year's posters by clicking on 2025. You can see we had 41 posters that were awesome. You can look at their titles, click on it to view the poster. So you can get some ideas for like what some of the posters were like. So here's one from Family Medicine. So there we go. You can also click on the watch presentation and see their 5-minute video presentation as well. So anyway, you can go through each of those years if you want. There's a link here for the poster templates as well. So you can see what they kind of look like as a thumbnail and then pick the one you want. And then on the last tab is our resources tab. So the handbook will be here. I've pulled out the judging rubric, so it'll be there by itself. We'll have all the deadlines here. And then video from today's presentation will be here. And then some osteopathic guidance. So this section will probably change and be in flux depending on how we come up with different resources that we think will be useful for you. Okay. All right, so that is all I have today. I think Dr. Ty is going to do a presentation as well for you, kind of talk to you about osteopathic recognition. And then if you have any questions, we can take questions at the end.
Thank you, Dr. David. Let's see. So for some of you who may not know me, my name is Dr. Mark Ty. I am one of the OMM faculty at OSU OMM. I am the program director of the OMM residency program. I'm also the executive director of osteopathic recognition, where I generally help out all the residency programs put and find their osteopathic components that meets their requirements. Okay. With the QI project, today's talk was going to be on integrating the osteopathic principles, but when I step back, it's really identifying the osteopathic principles, because we're not integrating implies that we're adding to some of the things, but really we already have those osteopathic components there, and we just need to find what they look like. Okay. So a reminder, the osteopathic tenets, the body is a mind, body is a unit, person's mind, body, and spirit. So essentially meaning that all of our programs within our body are interconnected and not independent of each other. So the heart and lungs, the kidneys, they all play a part. The second tenet is that there you go. The body's capable of self-regulation. as physicians, we typically see patients when they are in dysregulation or dysfunction, and we provide the tools and resources to optimize the body's self-regulation and function. And the dysfunction can lead to impaired structures or vice versa in the third tenet. The last tenet is the rational treatment is based on all three, essentially meaning that we take into account the person as a whole. Here's the osteopathic rubric. I'm not going to go in depth with it, just let you know that there are three components to the osteopathic rubric: the background, practical applications, and any indication or discussion of applying OMT. So let's watch a brief little video skit.
Constant reminders of your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis can make it hard to be there when it matters.
We have to fill these.
So this is Dr. Sheldon Cooper, the physician interviewing Miss Penny, who slipped on the bathtub and injured her shoulder. As we watch this interaction, I want you to think about how could this patient interaction, how could this encounter be improved? What are some of the areas that we could change or optimize for quality improvement? And then taking a step back and thinking, how's this help the person and how's this help the physician system?
Now, describe illness or injury.
I dislocated my shoulder.
All right. And how did the accident occur?
You already know that.
Cause of accident, lack of adhesive ducts. Okay, medical history. Have you ever been diagnosed with diabetes?
No,
Kidney disease?
no,
Migraines?
getting one.
Are you currently pregnant?
No.
Are you sure? You look a bit puffy.
Change migraine to yes.
When was your last menstrual period?
Okay, next question.
I'll put in progress. Okay. Moving to psychiatric disorders, list all major behavioral diagnoses, e.g. depression, anxiety,
Oh
etc.
my God, what the hell does this have to do with my stupid shoulder?
Episodes of subpsychotic rage. Possible Tourette's. And moles, lesions, or other skin conditions. Soup tattoo on right buttock.
Hey, Sheldon, look, I am scared and in a lot of pain. Could you please take a break from being you for just a minute and try being, I don't know, comforting?
I'm sorry. There. Everything's going to be fine. Sheldon's here.
Thanks, that's much better.
Okay.
We have to fill these out.
So if we were to look for some of the osteopathic principles, first one, mind, body, spirit, body's a unit, just thinking of how her increased pain can impact her mood. Tenets 2 and 3 will getting faster care lead to less complications. So letting the body heal itself a little faster and improving the structure so the function returns back to normal or optimal. How does asking if her kidney disease or if she's pregnant help your care? Possibly considering any future imaging or pain medications or any kind of medications that could be affecting the kidneys. So how's this injury an indicator for something else? So can this be screening for some other kind of condition? Background of the project, just having a discussion. The main part I want you to appreciate is that the poster itself that Dr. David showed may not have a lot of room for you to put in the osteopathic components, and it is more than acceptable to have the discussion in your presentation. So you see in the rubric, it'll say the poster and or presentation. So you can have this verbally as you're presenting your presentation in your poster. So 4 points for 3 of the 4 tenets and 2 points and then 0 points and somewhere in between. So why is it important? What are you trying to accomplish? To identify some of these workflows or barriers, such as improving the workflow, reducing the waste, reducing healthcare costs, improving screening, and improving patient compliance, and improving patient education. So the practical application. What is the problem? What is the medical condition that is being addressed? And how is it impacting the patient? What are the potential barriers to optimal patient care? As you've gone through your medical training, I want you to think, what are some of the things that could improve or slows down your care? So if you can, I'd like you to log into this Kahoot, and we're just going to do a cloud play to have you identify what are the barriers that you have encountered in providing optimal health to your patients. I gotta say, I love these avatars. Okay. I hope the pin will still be there. Let's get started. Okay. Your communication, language, insurance, lack of time, costs, money, communications, number of patients, all very valid and reasonable barriers. So these are the barriers that were identified the last time we did this. And the most prevalent one was the methamphetamines. But you also see socioeconomics, preconceived differences, family background, income, literacy, transportation, education status, so physical barriers like wheelchairs. After identifying the what, how will it impact the patient? Now, as you think about this, we can take a step back and really see the person this problem impacts. What is their story? Who are they? What kind of experience has this person had that have shaped who they are? So if they came in with shoulder pain, is this the first shoulder pain? Was this a traumatic shoulder pain? Was this a, I guess, intended shoulder pain or injury? Or had they had somebody in the past who they know have had the shoulder injury and they relate it to a negative experience? So identifying these barriers essentially just helps us optimize our patient care. Okay. So going back again to improving the workflow, reducing the waste, reducing healthcare costs, improving screening, improving patient compliance, and improving patient education. Overall, the main component there that I see is how do we do what we do to provide the best patient care, and how can this project help patients receive the best care? Either some of the aspects and topics that Dr. David mentioned, the education, workflow, safety, clinical care, patient experience, all centered around the healthcare system and patient care. So picking one of those topics and diving into it, don't forget that you're helping people. You're helping the person with a condition, and you're in a position to help provide that optimal care and improve their health. All these, just because it's an osteopathic portion of the presentation, does not require that you need to integrate OMT or do any OMT treatments in your poster. However, if you feel that OMT can be helpful, you can verbalize that in your presentation. For example, if Ms. Penny was feeling very anxious and was having her migraine headaches in the emergency room or urgent care, she may benefit from a soft tissue of the neck or OA decompression to help improve her mood and anxiety and stress level. So the discussion of applying a potentially OMT to the patient care can be part of your project. So as you're going through your project and coming up with your aim statements and filling out your poster, if you have any questions on how to find the osteopathic principles and practice and how best to utilize the osteopathic rubric, feel free to reach out and email me, or if you see me in the hospital or you have any further questions, you can ask myself or your director of osteopathic education, who are quite familiar with the osteopathic rubric. Okay, so thank you. I'll send this back to Dr. David.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Ty. That was so helpful. I guess right now we have a few minutes if y'all have any questions right now. If not, you can always email either him or myself or the Quality Symposium email group. But I'll give you a few seconds here if anybody has any burning questions that you want answered today. Okay, so like I said, you can email either one of us or the Quality Symposium email. Remember, Lisa did put the CME code in the chat for anybody who needs CME from today. And then if not, I guess, Dr. Alex, did you have something to say?
I just wanted to thank Dr. David and Dr. Ty for those great presentations. And we really look forward to our QI Patient Safety Symposium coming up in May, and we look forward to all of your posters. We've had such a great response over the last several years. We've had 41 posters this last May, and we're looking forward to everyone in the consortium participating. So thank you very much, Dr. David, Dr. Ty, great presentations once again. And I hope you all have a great week and great day. Thank you.